DMC is a project-based engineering firm that builds software and hardware solutions to our customer needs.
For this project, we partnered with a data center customer to provide firmware engineering, electrical design, and panel build. If we know anything about data centers, it's that they're moving quickly. We had to scale up our fabrication to be able to produce thousands of panels and support their rapid rollout.
So what we needed to do was create a set of work instructions and quality control steps that would allow us to train and build consistent results immediately.
This was the first large-scale ignition application that's been used in a production environment for DMC. We knew we would need some sort of ignition application to manage the quality control. It would have been impossible to build that number of panels that we had to build in the short amount of time frame and ensure that the quality was good. Because we have used ignition on so many of our client applications, we knew a lot of benefits that we were going to get with ignition. And so the flexibility of being able to implement different modules and the modularity to be able to make reusable scripts and components allowed us to really build a dynamic application very quickly, very rapidly.
Right at the beginning of our process, we had to basically train up each new builder individually. The value of ignition to us has been that we can more easily provide them with a source of truth, that they're confident that the photo reference that they're building will get them an accurate result, and they're confident that if they follow the steps, it will pass quality control. When we got a large group of builders coming in and all at the same time, and they're all using the ignition apps, it's super easy for them to follow along with what we're doing, building a demo unit. So what had previously taken maybe a couple days of training, we could complete by lunchtime with the same level of confidence that they were going to meet all their quality control needs.
Our fabrication team is able to work directly with engineers and make sure that any applications make sense for what they need them for and that everything that's written in them follows best practices.
If there's a part of our process that we're noticing is a consistent pain point, it's really easy for me to go to one of our developers and say, hey, can we improve the work instructions at this step? Can we provide them a little more context? Can we provide them another photo? We can go from making a mistake, catching a mistake, and fixing the work instructions almost immediately and seamlessly within the Ignition app.
One of the other challenges was our customer had a lot of different variations in part numbers, and so we needed to have a framework that was flexible to account for these different variations.
Because it has the SQL backend, we were able to easily maintain the steps without having to change anything on the UI side. It's compatible with Azure, so we were able to sync right up for the long-term data storage so that we could keep the records for long-term equipment support. And Ignition out of the box was compatible with the mobile tablets, which was critical for us to be able to navigate around the large panel and take the photos and keep those for our records.
We needed to be able to connect to our ERP system, which is Acumatica, and so Ignition allowed us to seamlessly grab that data so we could pull it in live for the operators as opposed to having to upload it separately.
While we're already creating production orders and shipments in our ERP system, instead of having to duplicate that effort to communicate it to the fabrication team or have them need to sign into our ERP system to see that information, it's all just brought right into the app.
The most important feature for us was the ability to review work within the same app as work instructions. So the builder could very easily hand off their tablet with the work instructions to quality control, and we would have a total record of how many units had passed, what units had passed. If there was any failure, it was caught within that same app, and it could be addressed either with rework or just a quick touch-up.
I think it's helpful for them to have a single point of access to all the different systems that they would otherwise have to interact with if it wasn't all funneled through Ignition.
We really focused on how can we make it seamlessly for them to step through each step and capture data. And one example is for the image inspection, right? We used the perspective upload component to be able to take a picture with a tablet directly, and it would automatically upload it into the application. Instead of having to use a camera to take pictures, then download and then upload them to a separate application, they could do it in one. One of the features of Ignition that we used was the barcode scanner to really make it easier for the fabrication studio. They could scan the barcodes of the different sub-assemblies as they're put in the panel to provide that traceability.
Traceability is super important for a process like this, not only during the assembly, but also in the field.
Our customer wanted a lot of documentation and certification that all of the products that they were purchasing from us would be safe to use, safe to operate, and all the data we collected really supported that case.
Once the product is in the field, Ignition is the gateway to access all of the information that we've collected. Because of the repeatable instructions and QC procedure, there's consistency across the fleet of equipment, and that makes it easier for the customer to maintain the equipment long term. One of DMC's goals over time is to continue to grow our fabrication studio.
We want to continue using Ignition to manage the quality of not just this one customer's panel builds, but a more wide variety.
So now that we have this application, it's going to be really easy for us to modify it for any assembly that we might want to build, and that'll help us maintain the high level of quality and consistency that we're striving for.